I'm Laura Swain, board member of Lexington Zero Waste Collaborative, a local nonprofit. Along with Alex Zabalas, I will be presenting this article. We are both members of the Lexington Waste Reduction Task Force and town meeting. This article is a waste reduction initiative that we are calling Skip the Stuff, based on a national policy campaign. The goal is to enact policies in local and state governments that require restaurants to ask first before adding all the unnecessary single-use plastic and condiments in takeout orders.
Since 2018, town meeting has passed a series of bylaws with the goal of removing plastic from our waste stream. In 2022, the town formalized its intent to reduce waste with a zero waste resolution that resulted in the formation of a zero waste plan for the town. Over the past few years, thanks to our Sustainability and Resilience Officer, along with Lexington's Waste Reduction Task Force, we have made good progress towards the plan's goals. We have made great progress removing food waste from residential trash through the various composting programs offered.
As the town continues its efforts to reduce waste, we continue to look for common sense policy changes that might also make a difference. The proposal before you is called Skip the Stuff. Very simply, this bylaw would require any takeout food establishment to ask the customer if they want prepackaged condiments or plasticware before including it in their order. That's it. Just make it optional and give the customer the choice to skip the stuff.
So why are we proposing this? Everyone knows that we have an overwhelming global plastic problem, and this translates to environmental and human health impacts. About 60% of Americans order takeout or delivery weekly, with millions of unused single-use utensils and condiments thrown into the trash because they're not needed. Restaurants put these items into the orders and diners throw them away. We need to figure out how to prevent this from happening. This is worse than single use, it's zero use. We believe that this bylaw can help reduce some plastic waste by making single use and extras opt in.
In addition to the global plastic problem, we as a town are facing a growing waste disposal challenge. At recent community forums, Lexington has presented this slide with data from the state that shows each Lexington household on average disposed of 1,391 pounds of trash in 2024, placing us in the yellow category. As waste costs continue to rise, we need to reduce our overall waste and get Lexington to be in the green. Most of the unwanted takeout items end up back at our homes to be disposed of in our residential trash. So as we work in Lexington to address increasing disposal costs due to scarcity of disposal options, any amount of trash we can reduce is important. Yes, the amount in one's household trash from these items is small, but Skip the Stuff is about changing a mindset away from a throwaway single-use culture.
So why are we working at the town level? Many laws as these that affect the general public, and not just residents of a particular town, are often best enacted at the state level. This helps both the businesses and consumers have common understandings and expectations. Typically, municipalities provide successful examples before the state will implement such policies. According to our state rep, Michelle Socolo, as more cities and towns in Massachusetts enact such bylaws, the more likely it is that the state will follow. As an example, in January 2026, New Jersey passed a Skip the Stuff law. Prior to the statewide law, 60 cities and towns in New Jersey had their own policy. Let's join our neighbors in Falmouth, Newton, Needham, Wellesley, Swampscott, and Brookline in skipping the stuff.
So how does this work in practice? For in-person and phone orders, the restaurant asks the customers if they need utensils and condiments before adding them to their order. For online orders, restaurants provide the option to request cutlery and condiments directly in the online ordering platform.
With this bylaw, the restaurant must ask the customer if they would like single-use plasticware, such as forks or spoons, or sealed condiment packets like ketchup or soy sauce. Based on restaurant feedback, we decided not to include containers that are filled by the restaurant. That is, under the bylaw, the restaurant would not have to ask customers before providing them with a small container of chutney, plum sauce, salad dressing, or other condiments that the restaurant placed in the container themselves. We believe it is imperative to engage directly with as many food and dining establishments as possible, and we have been actively soliciting their feedback over the past months. As of January, we've reached out to 70% of restaurants in town and continue to do so until town meeting. We were pleased to find that many restaurants fully support the bylaw. Others have said that they would be okay with it. A few restaurants told us that it might impact their preparation, but we're glad to be asked about it. We were encouraged by the restaurants already implementing Skip the Stuff because it supported our idea that this is just common sense, cost saving, and reflective of Lexington's community values. We believe that we should encourage the remainder to do the same through a bylaw.
We began this petition at the urging of State Rep Michelle Sicolo. We have gained support from many local organizations. These are all of the Lexington community groups that are supportive of passing this bylaw as of January 26th.
This bylaw will have a small effect on Lexington's overall waste stream. The real change that this bylaw makes involves habits. For restaurants, it involves stopping a habit of passing along unwanted plastic items as standard practice.
And on the consumer's end, it means starting a habit of making a conscious choice and asking, do I really need this? That question is one that all consumers can and should be asking every day if we hope to reduce waste on the scale we need.
Let's help Lexington takeout customers get started. We know many don't want the additional condiments or plasticware, but it's packaged for them anyway. Let's give them the choice to say no thanks.
Let's pass this article.